peace through power. Hi guys, it's Aegis here. Today I'm going to do a deck profile on Stargate, but a little bit different, which is my Gallop Gyze build. I actually saw this list on Twitter, and then I found it interesting and do a little bit editing on it, but most of the content is the same, and I will be telling you how this deck works. So for starting Vanguard, of course, we will need to be running Neon Gyze, because in order to use Gyze, you need to have him as a starter, move to G zone after you ride, and then keep binding Savage Dragons, and then become Gyze and do your work. So if you don't know what Neon Gyze does, first one is when this unit is has some other units riding on this, then he will go to the G zone face up, but then he doesn't count GB. What good about this act is it counts face up G zone units number. So for example, like Phantom Blaster Diablo, if you have a Neon Gyze face up and you strike him, then you do the counter blast and personal flip, then you already have 2 face up cards. So even though he doesn't count GB to give you access to GB before you strike, still a very important card that helps you increase the number of G zone cards face up. And then on the G zone, then he will change the trigger effects. The power up 5k effects will become removing binding a Savage Dragons. No matter whatever numbers of Savage Dragons you put into your G zone, this effect will never stop until you ultimate strike into Gyze. So if you like trigger 7 times, the 7th time or the 6th time, depending on how many Savage Dragons you run, you won't be able to get the power off. And then the ultimates, and also a skill at the G zone, that the Savage Dragons in your bind zone will not go to any other places. So just to make sure your Savage Dragons will just be there. Then it's the ultimate stride to Gyze. So you need to other Savage Dragons to put the same name card of your Vanguard, basically the same unit, from your hand to drop zone as a strike cost to ultimate stride, unless you are using Luard, the new Luard, Dragon 4 Luard, that has a skill to change the cost. And then you also need to have 5 face up Savage Dragon in your bind zone to actually do this, and after that you will flip your Neon Gyze to Gyze. Then after you start into Gyze, then you will first remove all the cards from your Vanguard circle, your Soul, your Regard circle. All of them are removed from play. They are not bind. They are not going to drop zone, but they are removed from play, and your G zone will be gone. Then you will call 5 Savage Dragons as a Regard. Then they can't be touched, they can't be attacked, they can't be locked. And then at the start of your turn, you deal damage equal to the same number of Savage Dragons on your field. So usually you would just do 5, and that's how you win the game with this deck, basically. So this is the starter, and then I'm running 4 new Grand Gallop, mainly because this is the Gallop deck, and his defense is helping you to survive on opponent's attack, because you won't be able to get the 5k. So extra 2k in defense will sometimes change the whole thing. If your opponent can't get 18 columns, they can only get like 16, then you can just go 5k. And if they're good at 21k, because you have 13k, you just need a 10k shield. So very nice. Next, I'm running 4 of the older Grand Gallop. So him again, in like Gallop deck, you probably won't be riding him unless you have to, or you want to use a 3 strike cost, then you will, but normally you won't. And again, since we don't add power to regards, we don't add power to Vanguard by triggers, his skill to actually gain 4k from 30k above Vanguard attacking, or 60k to gain crit helps. Then going to grade 2s, I'm running 4 Die Fighter. Even though you want to do a lot of trigger checks to get to Gyze as soon as possible, you don't want to hurt yourself too much early game, because if your opponent is good at making you can't guard with grade 0 and grade 1s, then you will basically lose after you strike Gyze, because Gyze will remove your G-Zone, and if they are good at blocking your grade 0 and grade 1 from hand, they usually have a high attacking power, so you won't be able to survive basically. That's why you need some high defense to protect yourself from from like little attacks and regards, like the 9k attack. So that's why I use Die Fighter. And then I'm running 2 Die Ballast. In the list I saw, they're running like 3 or 4 because they want to draw power, but I see 2 is enough. I did do a few testing, and you should be seeing my previous video about 2 matches. A friend of mine using this deck when I'm recording, and I tell him a little bit how to play with it. So it's okay if you do want, you can pump up to 3 for the draw power, because you don't care about counter blast so much unless you are G guarding basically. And after you strike into Gyze, counter blast is like no use to you. Then I'm running for Grand Hogan. He's a main resources for you to draw cards. So you play him, you have a Gallop Vanguard, then you just basically draw 1 and plus 4k. If your Vanguard is 40k or more, which you normally should if you ride into the new Gallop, because this deck you always want to have a higher amount of hands to protect yourself. Even if you strike into Gyze, more cards to defend with is always better. So he is here for you to get the card and also 1 card on the field, so you won't lose anything. And most of the time, the great use of this card for me is like if I have a Gallop and then I strike and I don't find my pieces, and I will call 1, draw a card, call 1, draw a card, call 1, draw a card. If I still have 1 more, then I'll call 1, draw a card. So it really doesn't matter if you call him anywhere. Of course, the 13k swing that his basic target is always tasty, but if you are like lack of parts, that's how you get your parts. And next I'm running 3 Grand Wisdom. So his skill is when this unit attacks the Vanguard, then if you have a grade 3 or higher Vanguard, then in the battle you can have him plus 4k. If you do at the end of the turn, this unit will get into the soul and then you will counter charge one. So why he's important? Because he gain power for himself. Again, you won't gain power for triggers. So gain power for himself, can soul charge, can counter charge. That's why he's important. So in this deck is quite important, I would say, because for Gallop you need the soul. So that's my grade 2 lineups. And then going to grade 1s. First, 4-star voter. Even though your main target is to drop the same copy to Ultimate Strike Gyze, so you need 4-star voter for a few reasons. One, to filter your deck, get your copy of Grand Gallop so you can ride him whenever you ride grade 3. And second, you want to save your grade 3s for striding, especially the same copy for Ultimate Stride. So you need maximum possible stride support. And also, for example, if you have one and then one of the old Gallop, then it's always good to just call him, show your opponent this, get this, and then drop something else. Then you will have like 2 copies, one for stride, one for first stride, one for ultimate stride. So won't hurt you anyway. Next, I'm running for Commander Laurel. I have to say, this is your weakness in the deck if you ride him, because you won't basically survive from any attacks. Even a trigger with 4k will hit you, and you won't gain power again, so he will always be 4k, so you will get bullied if you ride Laurel. But why he's at 4? Because you want to drive check as much as possible. So having 4, it will be a lot easier to get 1 copy. And then if you ride into grade 3s, you strike into grade 4s, then put your Laurel down, give your opponents pressure, hit Vanguard or hit Rearguard depending on the deck. If they can just drop a PG to protect their Rearguard, then usually I would just head with Vanguard, because they will just drop a PG anyway. Or if you know that they can't, then you can try to swing a Rearguard and see if they have G guards for you. If they don't, then of course you will just rest and keep attacking. Also, I will explain a bit later how you can make use of Laurel with your G-Zone. Next, for PG, I'm running 2 of each, different versions. 2 for this because I can draw 1 if a 30k or higher unit is attacking, and then you can get resist, even though the resist doesn't matter that much, but the draw power does. And why I'm running this one instead, not 4, I have done quite a few testing, and I find him very useful, mainly for his GB2 skill, which is counter plus 1, so plus 1. If your Vanguard with burst ability finish attacks, and if they are at 40k or above, then you pay the cost, this card go back to your hand. If your Vanguard is 45k or more, you will counter charge 1. So having him, for example, you ride him first, Soul Blast, and then you stride, making sure yourself at GB2. After attacks, usually you at 40k, then you can just counter blast, soul blast, return heal to your hand. So you can recycle your PG and survive a little bit longer. Make sure you can ultimate strike. Then becomes trigger lineup, which is 2 of the Gallop crit that help you fill your soul, and then 3 of this draw, 2 of this draw, and 1 of this draw. I'm not too sure about should I change one more to this, but sometimes I do like a trigger that can help me boost for a better number. But usually these are all for getting into the soul, so you have enough soul for the new Gallop. Then 4 stands. The stand itself is not important, but the skill is, which is GB2 burst, put this unit into your soul. If your Vanguard is 20k or more, draw 1. And if your Vanguard is 35k or more, then select one Vanguard with burst ability. In the turn, you gain the following skill, so +1. If you drive track a grade 3, then you can pay this cost. If you do, pick one of your opponent's sentinel in the guardian circle, and the will not hit ability will be notified. So basically it kills PG. That is why I have her in the deck, mainly to just kill PG, so you can make sure you hit. Then you can use a low roll, rest your unit, stand again, hit again, drive check again. Hopefully you will get enough triggers. And remove enough Zero Dragons and do Gyze. Then 4 heals. Just because it's heal, you need to protect yourself. G guards, heal damage. And so that's basically the main deck, and we will now go to the G zone. So I'll just put down here. So G zone, of course, you have your Neon Gyze at G zone, but it doesn't count. And then any 5 Zero Dragons. It doesn't matter which 5 you pick, but if you can put 1 Stark in the G zone, just because this is a Stargate deck, that would be great. If you don't have Stark, but you have the other 5, just use them, because it doesn't matter. Your goal is to just bind them all and then call them all. And then next, I am running 3 of the new X Gallop. Mainly because I want the 4 drive checks, and he can somehow reach 80k by himself if you have enough face-up G-Zone cards, and of course Neon Gyze counts. Neon Gyze doesn't count as the GB, but counts for the power gain after you get GB free. So very nice. And what is great about this is if you combo with Laurel, for example, you strike for the first time with new Grand Gallop, you'll be 40k, of course. Then you can have 4 drive checks. If you hit with Laurel around, rest 4, you can do 8 drive checks. And then with the stand, helps you kill PG, so you will be more easier to hit. Then for example, if you don't have enough trigger checks, you strike for a second time, what usually you will have is something like this. So because you won't get any triggers and you won't have 10k booster, so unless you have a, for example, let's put this here, and then you have a crit, for example. Unless you have like this setup, then you are like that, then put him into your soul and boost, then you will reach 80k, but I don't think you want to. So what usually happens is you're at 70k, swing with this on, with this around, like this, then you, for example, drive check a green free, you kill a PG, you stand again, you hit again. But of course, if you have enough like this, you have so much power, then you can just do a normal swing, stand again, lose all drive check, swing again, and then lower rest, swing again. So you have many ways to win with this deck, even though you won't gain the power. But do try to reach your target before you get 80k for Gallop. And then next, I'm running 1 GB8. It doesn't matter what you play actually, but he's here just in case you are really that bad luck and you need something to help you finish the game, then he's here to keep gaining the power and such. But usually I just flip him with Gallop. So let's see, there we go. And then I'm running one of this guy. In the list, he put one in here as well, mainly for something to gain power, and then you can also stand and regard. So it's like a little tech here, but usually what I play, I strike Gallop 2 to 3 times. That's all I need, unless you're really that bad, like you don't have counter blast to use him, then of course why strike him if you can't get the 4 drive checks, then he's your option. And also you can also choose for example X-Tiger to have you get the soul, get the GB, not the soul, get the GB, and it helps you with the GB free if you need. But of course, if you don't have like extra targets you want to do and you have enough cost, then you just try into Gallop 2 to 3 times, flip them up. And then of course we will have G-Guards. To seal, he is the star to keep you alive because he will give you power. While you can't gain power from triggers, but you can still gain power from guardians. And then this will help you gain power as well. This will be a high shield, GO5 to survive a little bit longer. And then one of the personal flip, the G guy flip, the personal flip, GB flip, G flip, G guardian. He can soul charge, he can counter charge. If you have enough regards like 3, then he will be a 30k shield, so big enough. So that's basically how the deck is structured, and I think I explained the deck enough here. So what basically you do is to make sure you ride into him, start binding your Zero Dragons, and then make sure you have a Laurel always next to you. Make sure you always try to keep a stand with you to use the skill. Strike into Gallop. then do your little tricks like this. Gain the 4 drive check, keep swinging, and then as long as you have 5, turn him into a Gyze. Remove all this, and then call your field like this, and then swing. Then you won't be able to gain power from any triggers anyway. But this deck, most of the triggers are heal and draw, so you get benefit from heal and you get benefit from draw. Then you survive your opponent's turn, and then give them 5 damage. If not enough, survive another turn and give them 5 damage. Basically, that's how this deck works. So again, what actually makes this deck playable is the high defense, the multiple drive checks that makes available to you, and basically I think that's all. And also the draw power from like this, so, and this, so you keep drawing, you keep soul charging, then you use the soul to gain power, then you do a lot of drive checking. Okay, I think the video dropped a little bit, so you keep doing your drive checking, you keep doing your drawings, keep doing your filtering, make sure you get your triggers easier, and get yourself a lot more hands recycling triggers. Aim to be Gyze as soon as possible. Probably not as stable as Not-So Gyze or like any other integrated Gyze, but I think this kind of build is actually fun to play with. I'm also trying to look for other possible options to play Gyze with. Right now, if you do look at my Twitter, I'm sort of trying to do a Blau Gyze, and I did a Luard Gyze before, but I think I want to tune the deck a little bit more, so it won't be available for deck profile right now, but I will do it when I feel it is good to show you guys. Yeah, so I think that's all I have for now. Do let me know your comments on this. If you feel like some extra card will help, you can let me know and I can let you know my thoughts. And of course, again, I will keep trying different possible ways of playing Gyze. For example, I'm thinking of Ghidorah Gyze. I'm already thinking of Blau Gyze, and maybe I'll try Gaia Gyze. I heard people successful with Chaos Gyze, but I'm not too sure about that yet. I need to test myself. Overlord Gyze I think is a little bit harsh for myself, because I don't think it will work, but maybe I will try. And then if you have seen other channels like Cardfight Vanguard, he already talks about Nubatama, the possibility of having Neon Gyze in the deck, and then use different Sarah Dragons with copying opponent's Vanguard name and clan, which I will see if I can do that as well, and show you guys if I do find it out. It is interesting, but before that, stay tuned, and I will see you guys in the next video. Signing off.